Hello and welcome to another growing guide. Today we're going to be talking specifically about citruses. And so this is going to cover all the citrus varieties that we carry here at Larry's Orchids. If you're interested in purchasing one, the links are in the description box as always. But if you already have one, this is going to get yours up and growing hopefully very quickly. So we're first going to cover the growing guide essentials. This is going to cover watering, fertilizing, light, temperature, and humidity. And then there's also repotting, and which we'll get into later on in the video. So let's cover the basics first. Light. They love nice, strong light. So if you can give them a south-facing window, citruses are going to do great in a south-facing window. Also, since Larry's Orchids plants are all dwarf or semi-dwarf plants, they're going to do great on a patio. You can carry them in and out, and they're going to not be too heavy and too bulky for you to carry. So if you can get it out to your patio for even a couple weeks or a month or two, it's going to be ideal because nothing beats the sunlight, the strong, real sunlight. And then also another thing is when it comes to sunlight, you get heat. And heat is so important when growing your orchids. They do not like cold drafts and they don't like dry air. They are growing in a place that is humid and tropical. And so that's normally warm and humid, and they like that. If you have them next to a door that gets some cold air during the winter, you're going to notice that your leaves are going to curl upwards and drop. That's never good, obviously, because it can eventually kill the plant if it's not corrected. Another thing is people think dry, warm air is going to be fine because they put it next to a warm air vent and they think, oh, they like warm air. However, the warm air coming out of your hot air vent is very, very dry, and that will also kill these plants. You want to make sure that it's just away from those places as much as possible. They're very versatile plants as long as you stick away from the very few things that can kill them. So another thing is when it comes with the light and the temperature is the humidity. You want to give them a nice humid environment as much as possible. I like to spritz mine down once a week or twice a week with just a water. I just get a spray bottle and just spray them down. That's optional. You don't really have to do that, but they're going to grow better for you because they like that humid environment, and I just try to replicate it as much as possible. However, if you want to keep them as a house plant, they can grow pretty well, carefree, as long as you maintain the few things that are needed to grow a citrus. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is fertilizing. When you're fertilizing your plant, you want to fertilize on a very regular basis because this is also going to tie into the watering section, which is coming up next. When you fertilize, the fertilizer is going to drain through the potting soil very well, because if you have not seen the repotting guide, which you should check out, by the way, link in the description box below, little plug for that. The potting soil we use is a very well-draining potting soil. It's got sand, vermiculite, perlite, and bark, and that adds for a very loose, well-draining mixture. And when you have a well-draining mixture, the water will pull right through the bottom of the pot. And what it does is it also pulls a lot of the nutrients out with it because of that. So one way that we like to fertilize is we like to use a citrus-specific fertilizer. And this is so crucial because of the fact that citruses have very specific requirements as to a lot of different plants that don't. Citruses are one of the few that you don't want to give just any old fertilizer to. So this is going to be good. We carry this on the store. This is a Grow More citrus specific fertilizer. It's going to also be good for your avocados because they like the same growing conditions as well. You want to make sure that you fertilize about every 3 weeks. You don't want to let them go any further than that. Otherwise, you're going to notice that the growth is going to slow down, and you might even have some lower yellowing of leaves. If you notice that your leaves are turning yellow, make sure, however, that it's not giving them too much water. So if you haven't been giving them too much water, it's probably fertilizer. Make sure you fertilize. And again, we do carry this in a small container and a large container on larrysorchids.com. And then the last thing is watering. So we touched on it briefly with the fertilizing, but you want to make sure that you give them good water. They like to be fed a lot. Since they are subtropical, they get a lot of rain. However, the potting soil also drains very freely as well. So put a saucer or something to catch the water on the bottom, but make sure that it flows through the bottom pretty regularly, just because if you just water the top is only containing about a quarter of the roots. Most of the root mass is actually down at the bottom of the pot as well. And if you let that dry out, it's going to stress the plant out, and the plant will only grow as much as the root system can sustain, since the root system is the heart of the plant. And the last thing I'm going to specify that I think I forgot is temperature. You want to make sure that the temperature stays pretty warm. However, they are more versatile than most plants are that are in the tropical kind of group here. So when you are growing your tropicals, you want to make sure that they stay around 75 to 80 degrees. However, this subtropical plant is a great plant to grow if you sometimes have temperature swings that can go down into the 60s and 50s. They don't like it any colder than 40, and they shouldn't be sustained at that temperature for more than a couple days. However, they won't die like most tropicals will. So it's a great thing to grow if you have it on a patio and it just can sway from maybe 70 to 60 or 80 to 50. Those rapid temperature fluctuations are usually what kills plants, but you won't find that it'll kill these because they're used to it. And that's what makes citruses awesome to grow and very easy to grow for you. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments box below or shoot them in an email. I'll get to them very quickly. And also, if you enjoyed this episode and learned something new, please subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all the other cool things we're doing on this channel, and it also helps us know who we're reaching. Also, if you have any friends that are growing any citruses, make sure to share this growing guide with them because I think they will enjoy it as well. And lastly, if you have anything that you've seen on this episode that you are interested in purchasing, everything can be found in the links below. They're all sorted by whether it's a citrus collection or a citrus fertilizer or anything like that. So we do carry everything you've seen at larrysorchids.com, and there's a link in the description box below and on our YouTube page itself. So until next episode, this is Luke from Larry's Orchids, reminding you that we are the #1 stop shop for all your orchid and tropical needs. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.